Yeah.
Okay, now we've got a question. Before I do the question, and we've got someone has arrived who's come straight out of the negotiations, and we want to, I'm not pushing you aside, but we're so keen to grab someone from the negotiations. So I want to make sure before she comes on, we get your whole story. I'm still not quite clear. Are you suggesting to the UN that that they take up this tradition on a wider basis?
Okay, we are suggesting that why don't we observe a global silent day or silent for the earth. So we are not suggesting that you should take up this Hindu tradition, no, not at all. It's that, hey, why don't we rest, let the earth rest, and then so if we can do it, I mean, we are in the 21st century, we are some 3.5 million people, so why can't you try it? Because it definitely cut only one single day cut tens of thousands of carbon dioxide. And imagine if the world do it, I don't know how many billions of tons of carbon dioxide just for one day. And it's a symbolic that we must look at our particularly in the developed industrialist countries, that this excessive waste, because I've observed by living in the US how people are so unconscious about wasting the thing that they work hard on, and they waste it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to interrupt you to bring you a question from Ken in London. Do the tourists in Bali respect the silent day?
Okay, I think they respect, in a sense, they will stay at the hotels. They will not be allowed to go out. And they will still light the lights, because the rest of the Balinese will be in the darkness. But I think the hotels is allowed to keep on lights minimum, but the tourists will have to stay for that 24 hours in the hotel. Cannot go out.
So if it seems pretty practical, because one really quiet day might amount to about the same as some of the delegates altogether managed to produce. So have you, I don't know how as an NGO you progress this suggestion. Have you tried to get the support of other Indonesian groups, or are you just putting it on a piece of paper and hope people see it? How are you lobbying for it?
Okay. First of all, somehow we actually gained much more than we expected in a way, because first it was only an idea that we are a group of, from Bali, what can we offer to this huge conference? But we said, well, we have this tradition that we don't make it up. We actually have been doing it for the last at least 700 years. So why don't we just propose it? So our film, we made a short film, is about this silent day, was actually played on the opening. So that was something. I'm sure people will remember that, whoever were in that opening. And in every sessions, when in the side events, we would actually make that time to, apart from asking question, when it's related to similar issue, we would raise the question about cutting by doing the silent. And several side events has actually given us part of their time to talk about the silent day, and some magazines, and also you give us time.
That was One World. I wrote a little story for OneWorld.net, where you can see more, and on One World US there are stories from Bali as well as on One Climate. We've had a couple of questions. Well, one of them isn't a question, it's just a supporter. Kildrig Abye, I agree, wonderful idea. So you have another supporter who said it silently by writing it down. That's even better. And Jamie from London says, can't see that idea working in Manchester, London, or any other big city.
I know it's easy to say cannot when we actually haven't tried it. A tradition or something must start somehow at certain point by somebody small, you know, like, so it may appear cannot, but well, Bali is 3 million people and actually can do it, and we don't collapse. I guess most people will be afraid that the system will get collapsed. Yeah. And that's again the problem of modern lives. We depend on too much on gadgets and computers. So maybe it's much harder if you shut down in Manchester or in London. But again, Bali is also modern. We can shut down, and we actually close the airport. So and just to tell you that some of the serious ones in Bali is actually fasting, not eating or drinking for 24 hours, and also not speaking, not reading, nothing.
So when you're halfway through, how do you feel? Do you feel, and at the end, do you feel better, worse? It's a strain, or?
When you, after a day of silence and fasting, you actually feel some kind of light, and just this sense of, it's just, you sense just lights and happy, and then you just enjoy the first touch of water, and actually like really appreciate that touch, first touch of water in your lips.
Well, lights and happy sound good, and so does the first touch of water, I must say.